Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to finish up today with a special selection, which is where one of you tell me exactly what it is I need to check out. If you have your own song you'd like to submit for special selection, you can find a link to do so in the description below. Today's special selection comes at us from Kevin. It says Slay by Paledusk. So that's what we're going to check out. This band called Paledusk, featuring Hideyoshi. Track is called Slay. Let's see what they're bringing to the table today. Really interesting. What? This is wonderful. A new day. Yeah, what is going on? So this must be Hideyoshi. And we have the layered vocals here of the aggressive pop rock style with the spoken word. Such groove here, though. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So here's the thing, like I really dig this, but I have no idea how to approach it analytically. So I'm just going to let my brain ramble and we'll see where it takes us. Inspiration. I think that's the first thing I really want to touch on here. There is quite a few elements here at play. First of all, we have, I think, pretty typical post-hardcore kind of style. Maybe metalcore might be a better genre overlay. But we have these really punchy, syncopated verses that are followed up by more melodic and harmonic chordal based ideas going on in the chorus. And we kind of jump back and forth between these two, but there's also a lot of different ideas that are interspersed or interplaced between those core ideas, the core metalcore composition technique. And so we end up hearing a bunch of ideas here that use metalcore as a foundation, a jumping off point to incorporate other ideas. And one of them that I hear is the super jazzy kind of chord progressions that we would hear in something like math rock or whatever genre Polyphia is doing. And everything that they have sort of, uh, you know, created in their wake. Everybody who's, trying on the types of chord progressions that they have going for them. Um, so we have this, like I said, sort of jazzy composition going on, and even jazzy uh, guitar tones, right? Very chill, pretty clean electric guitar tones, something that you would hear in a jazz band or math rock, just a very clean tone to it, with a lot of ornamentation, right? So the core idea is bum 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 bum. Very simple, right? But the way that they have a pickup note, a grace note into the first one. Brum, brum is that first note that kind of you quickly play it before you get into it. And then there's a little bit of a swung element. Brum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-ba, and it creates a syncopated groove, right? So there's a lot of this extra characteristic or character playing, emotive playing is a good word for it. That you just take a very simple idea and you put some extra ideas into it. You kind of give some different weighting to the length of notes. You use pickup notes, use slides. Right? There's a couple of slides in some of those ideas as well. Anything to kind of take the simple idea and just ornament it up, right? Change it up a little bit, add little ideas, create some flourishes throughout, and it's going to give it this jazzier vibe, right? It just feels more emotive. It's not as rigid as a rock concept. And then you're also using some spicier chords that you would find in jazz or also carried over into ideas like I've already mentioned, math rock and whatever you want to call Polyphia's work. Um, so it's jazz sounding without actually being jazz. There really isn't a lot of jazz writing going on in the guitar line here. Um, but also to further cement this idea of jazz inspiration, we have a few sections with saxophone being incorporated in. And the saxophone plays, once again, much like the guitar, some jazzier ideas. And a lot of that I think is coming from the chord progression. It's naturally going to bring about some jazzier feelings to it because we're already working with spicy chords that we typically don't find in rock. Um, and we have both of these, and then of course, I'm going to guess, hypothesize that Hideyoshi is the rapper in this one. So when we enter into that second verse, it is a style that is new for the song, but maybe not typical of Paledusk. Maybe it is. Maybe the lead vocalist does clean singing, does the metalcore screams, and does rapping when they don't have a featured rapper on the song. But I don't know one way or the other. Regardless, for this song itself, we do have this hip hop style of composition, this hip hop influence in here, where although the vocal delivery itself is a new idea, it also is replicated in what the drums, bass, and guitar are doing in this section as well, bringing it all back and stripping it down a little bit to make it a bit more bare bones to contrast with the spicier chords from the jazz section and the heavier syncopation from the metalcore section. And of course, just the large width that we find in the chorus where everybody comes together. We get the strong chordal foundation. We get the multiple vocalists. We get the guitar line. So we have these very distinct sections, and this is distinct by stripping things away and kind of going down to just a basic beat. It does evolve throughout the section, but the core entry point to the second verse is kind of stripping things down and bringing closer to more of a hip hop sounding track. So we have metalcore, we have pop rock adjacent, we have math rock, jazz, and and hip hop. All five of those, and you can probably even toss whatever genre Polyphia is in here as well, even though it's closely related to that jazz and math rock style. I think that the highly emotive playing that like Tim Henson does is showing up in here as well. And I would wager that Polyphia was a heavy inspiration on these guys, maybe more so than a math rock band like Chan, in which case maybe I should take math rock out of the equation and just call it jazz and Polyphia. The Polyphia is going to be the genre name, all right? It's the band name and the genre name. And so we have this song that has a very eclectic spread of inspirations to it that not only finds moments to move into each of them, but also finds ways to combine them. For instance, in our chorus, we have the metalcore screams and we have um, the rapping, the spoken word, right? It's not really rapping because it's a bit slower, but it is more spoken word, just kind of speaking the words out, even if it is rhythmic in a sense and kind of has a little bit of movement to it melodic wise. I'm still going to call it spoken word. um, we have that moment where we have the clean electric guitar and the saxophone, and they do their phrase one time, and when it loops back to the beginning, we bring in the metalcore syncopated single note idea, right? And there's just a lot of moments of this throughout the song where we have one concept and we might hear it alone for a moment, and then we bring another concept into it and mesh the two, just really smash them together. And it's kind of crazy how all of it always comes together. They have a real knack for finding these common points between the two styles, and or sometimes three styles, finding a common point between them where they can kind of say, okay, they all kind of correlate here. Let's base an idea off of this concept, and it just translates well to all three of them. Um, and it's just a real fascinating way of kind of understanding how some of this stuff works. I don't think I would ever combine metalcore with jazz or jazz inspired rock. I think is really what I want to go for there. They seem to be very at ends with each other. Metalcore is typically about simplicity in music and focusing on vibe, emotion, sound, and feeling, right? A lot of metalcore is just taking one, two, or even three notes and just really syncopating your rhythm against them, not really doing anything melodically or harmonically interesting. It's all about getting into that groove of just this heavy note and grooving with it. And putting screams against it, right? It's all about texture. And jazzy rock is kind of the opposite about that. Yes, you're going to have different guitarists who have different tones, different drum styles for your drummers, different vocal styles. So there is an element to craft a specific sonic quality, but a lot of it really comes down to what chords you're using, what harmonic characteristics you want to add to it, and the melodic phrasing and the personalization and how you yourself are going to have your instrument speak when you play it. The emotive element of your playing. It really focuses on individual uh, contributions to the sound through melodic and harmonic use, which is just such the opposite of metalcore, which is that unified sound of raw texture rather than notes. And they just mash them together and it works real well. Um, and I think some of that is just going to be that they focus on two different things. One is a textural thing and rhythmic, and one is a melodic and harmonic, so there's no overlap. They really do line up rather well where they fill in the other's blind spots. And now that I think about it, they really should work together almost every time. Really, really, yeah. More jazzy stuff needs to come up in metalcore. I mean, they're easily two of my favorite genres, so honestly, I would love to hear more of that. Um, what's another thing? Structure, I think, is going to be the last thing I really have to talk about. Production, like everything's just really well produced here. I don't think I have anything particular to say about it. Every instrument, despite having so many, and lots of layers in some of these sections shines through, and there's just a real clarity to it all. So I don't really have much to say there. Structure is kind of all over the place. Like I said, I heard a verse chorus idea, but there's also these little intermission ideas throughout that I don't really know how to reconcile them as far as structure goes. This is something I would need to listen to with a pen and paper, or a notepad in front of me or whatever, and just be like, okay, A, B. Oh, we've gone back to A. Oh, now we're in a new section, so that's C. Oh, we went back to the B, and like really type it out while I'm going and like really focus on the structure itself. But on a first time listen, it feels almost chaotic. I'd say that the saxophone and electric guitar bit that comes in, and on the second repetition through, we bring in the metalcore drums and electric guitar as well. That section felt like we did it 3 or 4 times, almost more than the chorus. I think it might actually be a pre-chorus then, a way to lead us into the chorus section, which is probably why we heard it so much. In which case, maybe the structure is not as complex as I'm making it, but it does feel like every time there was a section I recognized, there was one that I didn't. Again, might just be something that gets cleared up on a second listen though. Oh, the bridge though, right? There is a bridge because we do kind of have a verse chorus, guitar solo, final chorus. There's little incidental ideas in between, but I think it does kind of follow that pretty typical rock structure there. I really enjoyed the guitar solo. It was an interesting mix of the technical flair that you would get out of a metal track with some just some raw shred to it, but it also had a really nice flow. It was a bit on the shorter side, I think, which I would have liked it to just been extended a little bit more, but I also think that the way that it fits within the song, honestly, I don't know that the song even necessarily called for a solo, and its existence probably is better off on a shorter side just to fit the needs of the song itself. But regardless, it had good flow to it, really good momentum. I never really felt like it was segmented at all. It just every idea went into the next really well. Um, so yeah, I mean, just like a bit on the shorter side here, but I don't know what else to add to it. It's just a fascinating combination of metalcore with some jazzier ideas that works really well. But when you really break it down, there's also not a lot going on here. Um, I mean, every instrument pretty much has its role and it adheres to it rather strictly. So, there is one thing I didn't touch on at all here. That's the drums. That's because I don't remember what the drums were doing. I was so focused on melody, right? Or I guess I should just say what was in the spotlight, right? I was paying attention to what the guitars, both of them were doing, paying attention to what the saxophone was doing. The vocalist, Hideyoshi, when he came up and started doing his rapping there. These are all the things that I was really paying attention to, and the song was channel surfing between all these different concepts so quickly that I would typically check out what we had in our spotlight and then what we had sort of supporting that, usually the bass idea or maybe a second guitar or something like that. And then it would be time to go to the next section. I really didn't get a chance to check out the drums, which is a shame, especially if the drummer was really holding this song together in a way that was, rhythmically impressive. Regardless of what the vocals have to say, I'm probably going to be checking out more Paledusk just because musically, sonically, they fit right up my alley. This was a blast to listen to. So yeah, let's get into some lyrics here. See what's going on. Some of these lyrics are in English. Some of them are in Japanese. So some of these I would say are a perfect translation because they're already in English. Some of the lines are not going to be as perfect. So we'll just have to deal with it as we deal with it. Um, All of my friends, let's go crazy. Don't be lazy, let's go to the party. We have a place to go back to, but we'll keep climbing forever. Yeah. Hideyoshi and PD, we're ready. Let's get it. We drink the green juice and say slay. I don't know what's up with the climbing forever, but this is starting out pretty much just a party song, right? Says we're here with our buddies, we're gonna go crazy. Don't get lazy at this party, right? We're gonna. I don't know what green juice is. I don't know if that's a cultural thing. I don't have a reference for that. When I think of green juice, I think of like like the strawberry kiwi Hawaiian punch. I doubt that's what they're talking about. Which man, I haven't had that in forever. That was like man, that was the good stuff when I was a kid. Red Hawaiian punch was all right, but green Hawaiian punch was where it was at. You know what? The next time I have some green, I might go buy some this week just for a nostalgia trip. And before I drink it, I'll say Slay, just, just for Paledusk and Hideyoshi. We have a place to go back to, yeah, but we can only see the top A day, Billy. From here, from A day. Is that supposed to be like every day, but like you shorten it A day? EYDAY. But we can only see the top A day. If that is a shortening of every day, what's the point of only then? We can only see the top every day? I don't know. Again, this might be some really odd trend. The A day is actually direct. That was in English. The only English word in like this huge string of Japanese characters. We can only see the top every day. Billy. Far away from here, echoing everywhere. Ikazuki Killer B through and through 22, no stopper. It says no stopper like 7 times. No one can stop us. Okay, I kind of get where they're going with that now. We're never falling down. Oh, this is the chorus. No one can stop us. We're never falling down. Slay, slay, slay. I'm your slayer. We're getting higher. Slay, don't worry about it. Near side, corner dived. Oh, it's no big deal. Every day is a new day. Okay, so I don't quite understand everything that's going on here line for line, but the gist that I'm getting here is this is the 2020 YOLO, right? Live your life how you want to live it. Treat every day like it's the best, and don't worry about things because there's always tomorrow. Every day is a new day, right? Be I kind of get the idea also with the constantly saying slay is just like being your best self, whatever that might mean. It could just be like in this moment, have the most fun you could, but also like in your passions and your hobbies, like do the best you can kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm getting here. All right, this is where what's his name? Oh, Hideyoshi comes in, I think. Says everything's fresh, every day is a new day. Enemies we don't have, we're lucky to be alive. Natsuki by my side, drinking tea again. This life is all over the place. Oh, green drink would be like a green tea, possibly. I don't know. I'm jumping over land, air, and sea. Osan, take it as you please. Mount up. I'll get on board with the sound of Daiseki. I don't know what that is. This did not translate into English. I have a whole sentence here that is a whole line that got translated into uh, whatever. It's still Japanese. It's just not Japanese characters. I'm at a loss of words. Anyways, at the point of birth, it's the first and the last. Nothing problem. We're the best. Nothing problem is actually legit English right there. Nothing problem. We're the best. Before you complain, do it. So yeah, I mean that kind of goes along with what I was saying about Slay. Was it's not only just like be your best self right now, but also like give everything you've got to the things that you enjoy in life. And it says, jump over land, air, and sea, take things as you please. When you're born, it's the first and the last. I don't know quite where they're going with that, but I kind of get like the general vibe of it, right? Is just like the beginning and the end of something. Maybe I don't get the general vibe. I have it. Maybe. I don't know. And it says before you complain, do it. Right? So don't just complain about things, try to fix them first. And then find a way possibly after that. Not I get the like even after you've tried, don't complain, find help, right? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting there. We go back to the chorus. I'm your slayer. We're getting higher. Don't worry. It's no big deal. Every day is a new day. I want to say thank you for everything at any time, meaning more to the ear. Da 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 da. And then we get an outro chorus. Um, yeah, I mean that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. I don't have every single line, but to me it's a teenage slash 20 something anthem, right? It's kind of about partying, but it's also just about being the best you can, trying to get through life the best way that you can get through it, without succumbing to negativity. Right? It says don't worry about things, don't try to complain about things, do it first. Um, try to fix the things before you're going to complain about them. Just really give everything you've got. Right? Now is your time. Take what you need to take. Um, and in that sense, I agree with it. You can't just complain about things. You got to get up and try to fix them first. You got to try to accomplish things in your life. Sitting around and being negative doesn't help anybody. Um, so get out there and slay, right? And it's an anthem track, right? And you can hear it in the music too. The chorus, the verse, at least the first verse, very energetic, lots of drive. The metalcore syncopated ideas really push for that. They also get some upbeat kind of ideas going on as well, hitting on off beats, kind of giving it this forward momentum. Then we also have the chill, laid back element of the jazzy bits coming in here, that kind of tell you not to worry, just chill out. Do the best you can, right? Don't stress about things, just be the best that you can be. And yeah, it has both of those elements, like the party vibe and the relaxed element to it. Yeah, it's just a really great track. It reminds me a lot of the rock anthems from my youth, just in a very modern compilation of ideas that are all popular now. Polyphia is a very popular sound. Lots of bands are copying. I don't want to say copying. I don't really want to say emulating either. It's a blooming genre, right? I don't really know if you can call it copying when only one band has done it and other bands really have to take it and run. We talked about this sometime last week about iterative bands being necessary for innovation. You really need to explore a type of music before you can really push it in new directions. And if Polyphia is ground zero of whatever the genre is, we need other bands to say, hey, I want to try that. I'm inspired by that. Let me include it in my music. And we can really go through it. So, like, I don't want to say copying or emulating and have it being read as negative. But, that's kind of what I'm going with this, though, right? Um, I don't even remember why I brought all that up. Pretty bad, man. Human brains are weird. I can remember most of what happened in this song 28 minutes ago. I can't remember what I said 5 seconds ago. Um, Party anthem, laid back. I don't know. It's a great track, I think. It has a decent message to it. It's fun to listen to, and it combines a lot of interesting ideas. So, yeah, I mean, I'm here for this. I'm gonna check out more of this Paledusk because I enjoyed this track. I really did. Like I said, it merged two of my favorite genres. Even if it doesn't take compositional ideas from jazz, it still has that jazzy vibe, and we do get some nice spicy chords from the jazzier side of music combined with metalcore. So yeah, I'm here for this. And I guess those are my thoughts on Paledusk's Slay featuring Hideyoshi. This is where you guys come in. Hit me up with your thoughts on this track, if you enjoyed it or not, anything you'd like to add to it. If you have some extra insight into these lyrics, I'm down for that. There's a lot of lines I don't understand and probably some cultural ideas that went right over my head. So, I'm always down to learn about the stuff as well. When you're done commenting, head up to the description box and there's a link for Linktree. Takes you to this menu right here, has everything related to the channel in it. You can pick up some merch, join Patreon, join Discord, join Twitter. Just a lot of stuff to join if you'd like to expand how you interact with the Critical Reaction community and channel. And there's also something else. Oh, special selection. You can submit your own special selections if you have one, if you didn't see the link in the description already. Above that, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I greatly appreciate all three of those. That wraps it up for today. We'll be back tomorrow with more Women of Rock as well as another special selection. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.